Okay, this is part 234, line 21a, Occultation MOST, Kepler22b transits, eclipses, and Wow Seti. And here's a refresher. There's the actual way I did what I did is look at the actual numbers on the Wow signal, and then for each space I put little spaces here. And then when I type it up, I type it up the same way that it's spaced, and then I would Google it. So I started doing the research on this back in January the 9th, 2012. And today is June 23rd, 2012, 9:30 p.m. So basically 6 months later. Well, just past 6 months now. So there's the actual number that was in the Wow signal, and then there's the equation, and it equals the 0.0033. So then I Googled that, the two different numbers. I Googled this number up here and this one on down here. And so for line 21, there's A, B, just A and B, and then line 22 has A, B, C, A all the way to E, E3, okay? So, I Googled the number 0.0033, and it comes up with 25V capacitors. So capacitor.tedss.com comes up. And the properties as a real function domain are all real numbers. Range is this thing that came up. Indefinite integral, this equation comes up. And limits are these numbers here. And that's wolframalpha.com. So then the Milky Way galaxy, what we've got here is we've got the Wow signal over here by the Sagittarius arm. We have the Maya over the Perseus arm, and then the Kepler22b is supposed to be in this area as well, the Kepler search space of 3,000 light years. There's the Sun, Orion spur, Perseus arm, Sagittarius arm, and this is the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, so this is a painting of a Milky Way galaxy used as a background for a diagram of Kepler mission search space. Commissioned 1990 to 1992 by Smithsonian Institution for Display in National Air and Space Museum. And it's a painting by Jean Lomberg. So then the word occultation comes up. So in this July 1997 still frame captured from video, the bright star Aldebaran has just reappeared on the dark limb of the waning crescent moon in this pre-dawn occultation. An occultation is an event that occurs when one object is hidden by another object that passes between it and the observer. The word is used in astronomy, see below. It can also refer to any situation wherein an object in the foreground blocks from view occults an object in the background. In this general sense, occultation applies to the visual scene observed from low-flying aircraft or computer-generated imagery, wherein foreground objects obscure distant dynamically as the scene changes over time. Quote from Wiki: occultations, transits, and eclipses. An occultation occurs when an apparent large body passes in front of an apparently smaller one. A transit occurs when an apparently smaller body passes in front of an apparently larger one. In the combined case where the smaller body regularly transits the larger object, an occultation is also termed a secondary eclipse. And MOST came up, M-O-S-T. This is from CNSA. So it looks like. One small but interesting space astronomy mission, the Canadian Microvariability and Oscillations of Star MOST satellite, was launched along with a set of other payloads by a Russian rocket booster from the Russian Plastic Cosmodrome on 30th of June 2003. MOST was a suitcase-sized astronomy platform with a launch mass of 60 kilograms, carrying a telescope with aperture of 15 centimeters and a sensor system capable of detecting variations in stellar brightness of only 1 to the 10,000th of a percent. The major objective of MOST or MOST was to detect occultations of distant stars by planets in orbit around them. It was a relatively low-cost mission. Staff referred to it as the Humble Space Telescope, but it was Canada's first space astronomy satellite, and it paved the way for bigger planet hunter missions at last. Notice MOST was still in operation. So January 9th, 2012, my thoughts. SETI uses this technique to find planets in the Kepler region. So next what I did was Google this number from the actual signal itself, and it brings up this, hello, I need to generate the following sequence in my Perl program. 111, 111, 1111, 11, 1111, 1. And it's www.perlmonks.org. Perl is a computer program that NASA and SETI uses to compile data about stars and planetary locations, travel time, etc. Map comes up here. And when we have this map of the Kepler system coming up, where I show you the WOW signal was sent from, and the Kepler22b planetary location of the Mayan ancient astronaut that sent us this binary coded data to Earth in 1977. May 29, 2012, 9:45 p.m. Just going over this data and realized we had a unique solar eclipse with moon and sun on May the 5th, 2012. That's the end of that video. We'll go on to the next one.